Address verification is a powerful tool you can use in your gateway account for free that lets you block transactions from processing if the customer doesn't have specific address information available for their card. When you go to the page, you can see quite a few options for when you'd like to block transactions from processing. If you have multiple processors available, you'll see a drop-down with all of your credit card processors there, and you can toggle different rules between US domestic and non-US international transactions. Everything shown here is a blacklist, so if you check a box, say AVS error, if a transaction is processed and the AVS response code from the processor is AVS error, then this transaction will be blocked. Even if it was technically approved, we will reject the transaction because of this rule. The most common rules are up here at the top though, and so you can say reject a US transaction if the street address matches and the first 5 of the zip do match or the first 5 of the zip do not match. So this is basically saying if the street address matches, look at the zip code, and if the zip code matches as well, I want to reject. Now in this case, you're going to be rejecting if the street address is correct and the zip code is correct. So basically the customer is giving you all the accurate information. You could block that transaction. You probably don't want to do that, so I'm going to uncheck that. But maybe I do want to make it so that if they give me the wrong zip code, even if the address is right, I want them to have a correct zip code to make extra certain they are who they say they are. So I'll check that. Then over here, you can say reject US transaction if the street address does not match, and a few things for the zip code. All 9 digits of the zip code match, the first 5 match, or the first 5 do not match. So if they get the street address wrong, here's rules you can say that I want to block if these certain cases match. So if I wanted to set up my account so that every single transaction had to have an exact match for the address and the zip code, I would check all 3 of these boxes here, because in this case, I would reject if the street address is wrong, and then I don't care if the zip is correct or wrong. I'm going to reject because they didn't get the street address right. And over here, if the street address is right, I'm going to reject if the zip code is wrong. So basically, the only rule I'm letting through here is if they get the street address match and a zip code match. This is by no means a recommendation, but this is the combination you would use to do that. Going down a little further, we have some other rules. Some are errors, some are more unusual instances. For example, AVS is not supported by the issuing bank, so the bank doesn't have a response, so they can't tell you which one of these is correct, so they'll just return that, hey, we don't support this. You could also select for address information is unavailable, so maybe it is supported, but for whatever reason, the address verification system is down. You could do that. I'm not going to check those, and I'm just going to leave it as this. So when I go down here, I can hit save. And there we go. So now I have these rules in place, so any transaction that runs through my account is going to need to have the street address and the zip code be a perfect match. We also have an option to only require a match on the first transaction. If this is checked, then we're going to start essentially trusting a card after it gets an address match that passes the rules that you have set up. Once it's gotten that, it won't check for everyone. You'll still get a response and be able to see if it does match, but these rules won't block it if it has been approved already. Again, I can set different rules for non-US international. Maybe I want to set just those and then hit save, and then I can toggle back and forth between US and international and see my different rules. And at the bottom, I can see a history of all changes I've made on this account and what rules were changed by what user at what time.